The team at Facebook are hard at work building the metaverse. This immersive digital world will allow people to connect in new ways. Just like in the real world, everyone will have unique identities and be able to interact with each other in different environments. Whether meeting a friend in a virtual coffee shop or having virtual meetings, it will be a whole new way to interact with people. But there are many large entities looking to enter the space. Facebook or Meta have made themselves a clear contender, and we've also seen Apple acquire many different AR companies as well. So who will come out on top? Facebook has always been a software company. They've built different apps and features that run on other platforms like iOS or Android. This has allowed them to reach a wider audience and avoid the expense of manufacturing hardware. However, it also means they have to comply to the privacy policies of these hardware companies. In February this year, we heard that a new iOS feature would cost Facebook $10 billion. The new iOS feature was a transparency tool. It created a pop-up where users could confirm if they wanted to be tracked. Ultimately, Apple were creating transparency with the user's data and protecting their privacy. But this feature negatively impacted sign-ups for Facebook. Facebook will continue to face these challenges as long as they rely on other companies' hardware. This may be a key reason why they are trying to get into the metaverse before other big tech giants, trying to make their own hardware so that they can make their own rules. Facebook officially changed their name to Meta in June this year, and founder Mark Zuckerberg has promised that their focus has taken a shift. He said the company will go all in creating a new version of the internet that will be called the Metaverse. In fact, they started to build the tech years ago. In February 2014, Facebook bought Oculus VR. Since then, the company has brought out numerous headsets, but this is still hitting a small market. In 2021, 14.5 million headsets were sold globally. 85% of those are being Facebook Quest 2 headsets. But ABI Research predicts that only 11.1 million headsets will be sold in 2022, and only 70% of those will be Quest 2 headsets from Facebook. An assistant professor at Carnegie Mellon University, whose research is being sponsored by Meta, has said, "I'm not sure this is going to translate to end-user consumers anytime soon. Maybe these headsets are too much of a big leap for consumers." We know Apple like to take incremental steps when introducing new technology to their customers, and we also know they're not in any great rush to enter the metaverse. But when they do enter a new industry or bring out a new product, it is usually very, very impressive. Apple has always been a company that likes to do things their own way, the way they market things, how they built their own hardware, and how they built their own software ecosystem. So it should come as no surprise that the company is taking a different approach to other tech giants when they are tackling the metaverse. While other tech giants like Facebook and Microsoft are trying to build their own metaverses as quick as they can, Apple seem quite okay to take the sidelines right now. As we've seen previously, Apple aren't always first when bringing out a new product. They didn't create the first smartphone, they didn't create the first MP3 player, they didn't create the first personal computer, but when they entered these spaces, they did disrupt the market. So maybe Apple will take the same approach to the metaverse. Let other people go first, see what works and what doesn't, and then enter the space with a revolutionary product. While Apple build on this idea behind closed doors, they will strictly not use the word metaverse. While the word metaverse is used to describe everything from a virtual world to cyberspace, Apple have decided to ban it. Apple's rejection of the term shows how they are distancing themselves from their competition. In a world where consumers are becoming increasingly loyal to specific brands, Apple need to create their own identity. And part of their identity is putting themselves in opposition to those that will use the word metaverse without fully understanding what it means. Craig Federite, an Apple executive, said it's a term the company will never use. He argued that the term is a loaded and misunderstood term that doesn't actually describe Apple's intentions with augmented reality. The executive went on to explain that Apple's vision is to focus on AR and VR, which are much more grounded in reality. He also said that Apple are very interested in AR because this is something we can use to improve people's lives in a more practical way. For example, AR could be used to help you find your way around a new city or find what you're looking for in a store. These are the types of gadgets we used to imagine when we were trying to predict what would happen in the future. Apple have actually shown interest in AR for decades. Back in 1987, they showed a prototype for a headset, and since then, they have acquired a couple of companies that could be helping them make it a reality. It is known that they have hired hundreds of developers and designers for AI, and they have acquired company PrimeSense that focuses on tracking body movements and using those movements to control computers. Following this, they've acquired companies that create augmented reality scenarios. And we also know they've acquired 3 other companies, including Polar Rose, that focus on facial capture and analysis. This is the sort of technology we see in Face ID and Animoji. However, it is expected in the metaverse the designs and quality will be a lot less simplistic than what we see when we are using Animoji. But we do know Apple like to make incremental steps, slowly bringing their customers up to date with new technology. And this may be the way to do it. We've seen Meta's headsets not catch on so quickly. Maybe this is because it was too big of a jump for their consumers. And it may be that Apple's incremental approach is what is needed for the metaverse. Apple have continued to acquire companies in recent years. In 2017, Apple bought VR who focus on augmented reality headsets. And they acquired Akana Holographics, who focus on the lenses for augmented reality glasses. But Apple are notoriously secretive. We usually don't see a new product until months or even weeks before their release date. This creates a lot of hype and speculation from their very loyal customers. Apple are one of the few top leaders in the technology space at the moment, but the metaverse could be a whole new ballgame. We could see a completely new company end up on top. So Apple are under pressure to get this right, but as I said, they don't like to rush things. We can already see that Apple are continuing to improve their current devices like their smartphones and their iPads. They've introduced facial recognition technology and they continue to build on that. Apple have publicly available patent filings on AR headsets and on finger-mounted devices that can track movements and control computers. So it's expected that we could see something similar to Google Glass. Google Glass was an AR headset produced by Google. It was reported that it didn't have a very user-friendly interface and it had a camera mounted on it, so many people saw this as an invasion of privacy. But if Apple were to enter this space and create a competing product, it is, as always, expected to be innovative and disrupt the space, even if it's not the first of its kind. So the question is, do we as consumers need incremental steps, or is Meta's attempt of jumping into the deep end to create something revolutionary going to be something that we can't ignore? Although there's been a great amount of hype over the metaverse in recent years, it still seems very far away, and we still don't know exactly what it's going to look like. We've also seen a lot of speculation over the future of Meta. To learn more about this, watch this video next. Thank you.